Orange. Let's talk about oranges. Well, not exactly. Let's talk about orange amplifiers. More exactly, which orange amplifier should you get in 2024? So, orange has such a wide range from their lunchbox style amps to their big 50, 100 watt style type of amps, to their combo amps, to their small practice amps, to their micro amps. So, I believe that they all sort of serve their own purpose, but if you were to get one, I believe that the best one you could get to tackle all applications, being playing live, recording, playing at home, practicing quiet volumes, rehearsing, then in my personal opinion, the Orange Rockerverb 50 Mark III is the best option. Now, it is one of the most pricey amps, one of the most expensive amps in the Orange lineup, but I believe it's a worthwhile investment. That's if I were to just pick one amp. Now, we can discuss over all the different types of Orange amps that I have here today. So we can start with the Lunchbox series amps. So here we have the Tiny Terror. Now, this amp is discontinued. I believe it was only made for around 10 years. But, you can find these on Marketplace, on Reverb.com, for anywhere from around 350 to 750 Australian dollars. So you can pick up a great bargain. And these have become a staple in most studios since they've come out. They're a great rehearsal, recording amp. You can play them live, although you will need to mic up your amp and get some fallback on stage. So the great thing about this is it's quite portable. As you can see, you could just carry it in. So it's very light. It's a lot more portable than the Rockerverb. But limitations are you only get one channel. So if you want to switch between clean and dirty, you aren't able to do that. You don't have an effects loop, which, some people don't mind that. Some people don't run effects in the effects loop. So, yeah, it gives you the classic orange tone. Not super full, like as big as the Rockerverb, because it has EL84 power tubes instead of EL34s like the orange. But then you also have the Dark Terror, which is, similar design as this, but it has more gain and inherently more scooped lower mids. So this is aimed more for metal and hard rock. But, you can dial the volume up and you can bring back the gain and get some really nice clean tones out of it as well. It also has an effects loop, which is what the Tiny Terror doesn't have. So, if you were pick between both those amps, you can only have one. Personally, I will go for the Dark Terror as being a metal player, just because it's got more of the finished, polished metal tone. You can get there with the Tiny Terror, but you might need like a tube screamer and maybe an EQ pedal in the front. But personally, out of those two, I go for this. But Orange, for a long time, has also been making, I've got my pedal board here, the Micro Terror. And they also do the Micro Dark and the Terror Stamp. So the Micro Terror is basically the Tiny Terror, but instead of having a tube power amp section, it's solid state. We do, however, get the one 12X7 in the preamp. So it does have a tube, it does have a preamp tube, which gives it that character and that same breakup as the Tiny Terror. But because it's smaller, smaller transformer, no power tubes, that does reflect in the tone. So the tone is smaller. However, it's way more portable. Still about just as loud as the Tiny Terror, like volume wise, they're around the same. But it just sounds a bit smaller, You might or might not like that tone. Personally, in a band mix, playing live, it hasn't been a major issue for me. This is my live pedal board, and I mount it on here, and it's it's super easy just to rock up at a venue, take this out, plug in, and just send this off to a cabinet. I bring this 1x12 most gigs, and yeah, it's just super easy. And then we have the Rockerverb, which I haven't tried the Super Crush or I've tried some of the other solid state combos, but personally I prefer head and cab combination over combos. If you were just maybe gigging and not recording, and you don't want to bring a cabinet, then you can go for a combo. There's nothing wrong with it. I just personally prefer using head and cab, because I can have a big cab. I've got a 4x12. I can have a small cab, and this is only 50 watts, so this can run perfectly into a 1x12 60 watt cab, which has vintage 30s. So a lot of time I've been doing bigger shows, I just bring this and this, and it stacks up on top perfectly, and it sounds incredible. It's the best tone out of the Orange range, in my opinion. The other features I really like about the Rockerverb is, obviously, it's 2 channels. So you've got the beautiful clean channel, which has reverb. It's foot switchable reverb. It has the effects loop. It has 3-band EQ, which, these other 2 lunchbox amps, you've only just got the 1 knob to adjust the EQ. So it's more flexibility there. And then it has this great attenuation knob, which means that you could crank up the amp, you could get the proper tone out of the amp, but you could bring down the attenuation, so that way you can play, similar sound to as it being cranked up, but it's a lot quieter. That's what more appropriate for playing lower volumes. So, hope you enjoyed this video. This is my take on which amplifier you should get out of the Orange range.